People that are hungry are willing to do the things today others won't do in order to have the things tomorrow others won't have.
The question isn't can you handle the situation, the question is can you handle your mind.
What changed? I changed, and I stopped being a victim. I stopped saying I've got to wait for good things to happen to me, and I said I'm gonna grind, I'm going to fight, I'm going to work.
A lot of the hardest problems are so easy to solve. We just have to take those steps which are hard.
I can do anything. I can do it.
Welcome to On the Rise. I talk about personal development, small business, and I interview entrepreneurs on the rise. They call me Level Up Nelson, and I am your host. You can follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Level Up Nelson. The phone lines are open at 800-419-5975. That's 800-419-5975. This podcast is brought to you by DatChat, the future of email and messaging. DatChat puts you in control of your text messages and allows you to pull back any text message you've sent using secure blockchain technology. DatChat IPOs in early 2020 to the NASDAQ. Visit datchat.com/levelups and get a once-in-a-lifetime exclusive pass to purchase shares now. Again, that's datchat.com/levelups. And to my Level Up family, welcome back to the show. And my guest tonight, he's an entrepreneur. He's the co-founder and CEO at Muvez Footwear. It's basically footwear reimagined. But if I had to narrow it down, it's the indoor slipper reimagined, function and modern technology into a traditional house slipper.
Yes, sir.
How crazy does that sound? Eric Cruz, man, welcome to the show.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me, man. Pleasure to be here.
Yes, sir. What's going on, man?
Not much, man. Living the dream.
Yo, I love it, man.
Pursuing a passion project of mine.
Yeah.
Been in the works for a few years, and now we're, I wouldn't say thriving just yet, but, you know, we're reaping the benefits of the labor that we put into it.
Right.
You know, it's wasn't an overnight celebrity success story. We're still very much on the journey, but just like super grateful.
Yeah, that's awesome,
to
man.
be here.
That's amazing, man. Show that thing, man. Bring that thing on camera for a second, man.
So look
at that thing, man.
This is the sneaker. So before we get into the functionality, let's just get into the design and sleekness, right?
Wow.
So, you know, it looks like a sneaker intentionally.
Yeah.
Right? Because we want it.
Pull it back a little bit. So
okay.
Yeah, so we can see the whole thing. Yeah. There we go.
Is this better?
Yeah, perfect. Yeah.
Okay, so as you can see, the silhouette is very modern and sleek.
Yeah.
It's a low profile so that it's below the ankle.
Mm-hmm.
You have breathable knit. You have zero gravity insoles. A neoprene flexible heel counter, which allows you to slide in and slide out, just like a slide would.
Yeah.
But what's really dynamic and special about this product is its dual function capability. And what that means is it's a sneaker, but in truth, it's a slipper, right? Because you have a detachable outsole, right?
That's crazy.
This functionality right here is patent pending.
Got it.
It's a utility
Nice.
non-provisional patent that was filed back in November of 2018.
Beautiful.
And it protects this suction. So there's a functionality where protruding wings intersect this canal, right? And then once it interlocks, it conjoins like a very formative relationship. So you wouldn't unintentionally slip out of it. You'd have to apply pressure on the heel and then release up. So, you know, customers can feel safe and secure that while wearing this slipper,
it's not going to pop off.
It'll never pop off.
Wow.
Unless someone flat tires you, which happens all the time, you know?
So yes.
But unintentional slippage is just not in our equation. This took years of research and development overseas in China.
Yeah.
This was about almost 2 years of just testing fabrics, testing densities, because, you know, when you're talking about manufacturing, particularly in footwear, you're talking about EVA injection foam molds or talking about rubber molds. Rubber's a bit more durable, but it's a lot heavier. So EVA, this is EVA injection foam. It's lighter, it's just as durable, and it's a bit more dense, but you have to concentrate on the functionality and dense here. So this is really heavy because we want to make sure that it's durable enough to withstand. If you wanted to walk outdoors, it's suitable. This is just as dense as indoor slipper sole is. So it's solid in terms of constant exiting and entry points, because this is vulnerable, because there's no added security here.
Got it.
But being that this is as high as it could be, we don't have a problem with a lack of strength here.
Okay.
And these are all factors you have to consider when you're manufacturing. I mean, we don't have to talk specifics because it's boring.
Yeah, oh yeah.
You know?
Real technical.
Yeah, and we don't have, we can skip all that.
Right.
But, the premise was just reimagining, again, how traditional footwear operates. And it's just, it's been antiquated. There really hasn't been much challenge. And it's a white space in the industry where there aren't any giants.
Right.
So we're
Which is
specifically categorized as an indoor slipper.
Yeah.
Because if I'm considered a sneaker, then I'm messing with...
You're getting close.
I'm getting close. And, I don't want to rumble with the Titans.
Yeah, man. Nobody does.
We're hoping just to disrupt the industry enough where we could seek acquirement.
Yeah, that's
where
smart,
a
man.
Nike or, a bigger brand is like, listen, we like what you're doing. We noticed you're disrupting the industry enough where we're interested in licensing the patent potentially.
Wow.
And that's something that has always kind of been the exit strategy for us. It's hard to imagine that point because it took so much to get here.
Right.
So in hindsight, we're fortunate enough to be in the position if that ultimately happens.
It happens,
but we're enjoying the journey and growing the brand and broadening the awareness because, we're not just another footwear brand or clothing brand. We're more than that.
Yeah.
So we want to just spread the word and provide platforms for other creators. That's kind of been the whole mantra from the very beginning.
Right.
We just feel confident in what we're doing.
That's smart, man.
Building.
That's real smart. That's real smart. And because we said co-founder, right?
Sure.
So you got two other guys.
I do, yeah.
So it's not just your brain going into this, but you got two other guys in their creativity as well.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely, yeah. And I really lend to their creativity because I'm more of an operator.
Got it.
So I understand my role in the business, and that's operations, logistics.
Yeah.
While I'm my brother's creativity and our co-founder Kevin, and then we have another guy, McMichael, they're all equally creative. And I understand that that's not my role, that's not my space.
Yeah.
But I let them thrive and flourish, and I just bring their creativity to life in a way.
Smart, man.
I'll find the manufacturing, I'll find the schematics, I'll find fabric,
right,
and I'll just allow their creativity to show through production.
Nice. Nice, man.
I think that's one of the bigger hurdles that I see. Again, I'm still building and very much in the process.
Yeah.
But when I talk to entrepreneurs who have co-founders, they're constantly stepping on each other's feet because they really don't know where they fit in.
Yeah.
And I think it's just being true to who you are and knowing what your creative talent is or isn't, and where your strengths are and weaknesses, and identifying the weakness and then finding that strength in others.
Yeah.
Because you don't have to be great at everything. And that's
true.
okay.
Right.
But as long as you're really good in one or two particular areas where you can grow and accelerate the business, that's more important than being good at everything.
It's true. And it's a skill though to be able to accept what other people bring to the table.
Sure. Absolutely.
So I don't know where you learned that. Maybe we'll know today. Yeah. Right? Because a lot of people, man, the egos will just shoot over everything, bro. And it's difficult for them to share that light.
For sure. Yeah, it's okay. You have to just look inside yourself and again have that conversation and not be afraid to identify the weakness, because that in a way is a strength.
Exactly.
And then you learn from others. So before I took this journey on, in terms of entrepreneurship and particularly footwear, I read Phil Knight's book, a memoir.
Oh, the coach?
Shoe Dog.
The coach, right? Phil Knight?
Yeah, Phil Knight was...
Wait, Phil Knight.
That's Bob Knight.
Bob Knight.
Yeah. So Phil Knight is
who's Phil
the
Knight?
creator of Nike.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, so he had published a book 2016.
Wow.
And right around the same time I was making this cognitive decision to become an entrepreneur. And I was like, wow, if I had to learn from anyone in the world about what I'm about to embark on, it will be Phil Knight. So I read his memoir. It was compelling, thought-provoking, and all the things I needed to learn. And along the way, he was self-deprecating, in fact, where he wasn't taking all the accolades to himself. He was attributing the success to the team, the greater good of every individual person, and knowing the strength. And he had core values where, he was responsible for making sure there was money in the bank and thriving and navigating the ship, more or less, right? Because without direction, you're kind of swimming in no man's land.
Yep.
So you know, if you're a CEO, my advice, and I'm not here to project or anything like that. I'm really here to kind of give my truth, and my truth is I've identified 3 areas of expertise that a CEO needs to be capable of doing.
Right.
And one is making sure that there's money in the bank. Right. That is your job because you are the CEO, your chief operating officer. So if you want to make dreams come true, you need money to do so. And if you want to allow your team to thrive, you need to make sure that their dreams and their creativity can be proven through financial resources, right?
Yeah.
So you want to make sure there's money in the bank. That's 1. 2, you want to navigate the course, right? So you're the captain of the ship. You want to make sure that every strategic decision is well thought out. Right. You're being pragmatic. You're not making overnight decisions. You want to be very thoughtful in decision making. Because you're responsible for not only like your well-being, but your team's well-being, right? And then if you have an financial investor, you're responsible for their money. And if you want more of it, you have to protect it.
Exactly.
While putting it to work.
You got to grow it too.
You got to grow it. You got to grow it. And the third part is bringing on great people. Yeah. Right. So expanding the team, interviewing, speaking to those that have a weakness that you've identified, and that you need their creative talents for it, but do they have the right mindset? Exactly. Right? Are they a kind of grow slow kind of guy mentality, where that's very much what we share? Because morale's everything, especially when you're building with practically nothing. Money, yes. Right? Because everybody's working on energy. Yeah, and that's it. So you need positive reinforcement, positive workflow, so that everyone feels like their opinion's being appreciated and heard. Yeah. Because there's no consideration for financial wealth. Yeah. We're all working on a passion. Yeah. So, being conscious of that.
Or financial rewards. Yeah. Right? Because the rewards are little, like you'll get little wins here and there. Sure, yeah. But you can't expect to be paid for every little win that comes in.
Absolutely. I mean, it's a long game. Yeah. So, I could be down, 4-0 in the 9th inning, but I know that I'm that kind of closer where I'm up to the bat and I have bases loaded. I'm trying to win it for the team. Yeah, hell yeah. I'm not concerned about how the first 8 innings went that I struck out 4 times. Hell yeah. I just forget about it because it's really, in the grand scheme of things, minuscule. Right. It's the back 9, not the first 9. Yeah. The 9th inning, not the first 8. You gotta be a good closer, man. That's where the money's made. You gotta be a closer, man. That's where the money's made.
All right, let me shout some people out. Jeremy Jennings, shout out. He said the best shoe on the market, hands down. That's my guy. Shout out to Roberto, Anthony Joseph, I see you, Chastity Taylor. Mr. Ronnie says, I need a shoe like this to perform services for residential homes for a service technician.
Yeah, please see us.
So, yeah, you might have a customer right there. Emily Velez, thanks for tuning in. Gerard D, thank you for tuning in. So listen, folks, we didn't even jump to the quote of the day. We just jumped right into it, man. My man, Eric, man. Right into Muvez Footwear, man. Nelson Stryker on the rise. Yeah, so look, let's get the quote out of the way. Then we're going to take a quick break. Because we jump right into it, man. Splash. Yeah, sorry. Talking money and footwear and patents and exit strategies. I hope you guys are keeping up right now. Mm-hmm. So listen. So the quote of the day. This one's from Zig Ziglar. He's one of my favorites in the game. God rest his soul, by the way. Be grateful for what you have and stop complaining. It bores everybody else, does you no good, and doesn't solve any problems. Again, he says, be grateful, and actually you used grateful in what you were saying. He said, be grateful for what you have and stop complaining. It bores everybody else, does you no good, and doesn't solve any problems.
There's a lot of truth there.
So much, and a lot of people, unfortunately, they don't count their blessings, and so, I don't know. I mean, you could blame it on the way they were raised, to not be grateful. But, I think for the people that are grateful are the people who really had to struggle and who saw struggle and who had to, you know, make something out of nothing and rise from the freaking dirt. You know, complaining. I mean, winners, we don't complain anyway, right? So that's kind of like a common denominator.
Yeah. It's important to have a positive outlook because, again, you know, while you're building, it could be very discouraging on the rise to fame and success and fortune.
Right.
And you're going to be hit with a lot of challenges and people who, you know, just didn't live up to their end of the bargain. And that's okay, because not everybody has to be a part of the journey. No, but having a positive mindset will allow you to overcome these challenges, because what we're doing in entrepreneurship and the ecosystem that exists,
Right.
you'd have to be crazy, honestly.
Pretty much.
You know, I mean, you have to
A sliver.
You have you know,
Or more.
and I would argue more. I mean,
Yeah.
You know, you have to believe with undoubtable faith that your product is meant for the market and it has an existence.
Right.
Because if you don't share that mindset and your team doesn't believe, there are too many opportunities to quit. I mean, I could have folded it in years ago.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, just financial independence or dependency.
Right.
You know, not having the capital needed.
Right.
Coming out of, you know, our own pockets for self-financing for majority of the trip.
Yep.
Going to China, you know, I traveled. I mean, I don't really know where to start. You know?
Yeah. We're gonna jump right into that, man. Look,
Yeah.
let's take a break. I'm gonna pay the bills right now. So for those of you tuning in right now, we'll take a quick break. We'll be right back, folks. All right, folks, welcome back, Nelson Stryker. This podcast is brought to you by Swerve Cannabis. Tired of your student loan debt? Well, you are not alone. Forbes tallied up the student loan debt in America, and it hit $1.2 trillion. But there's good news. Hundreds of college graduates are using the legal cannabis industry to get themselves out of debt without student loan forgiveness. Yes, legal marijuana sales is already at $9 billion, and by 2023, the projections are going to be approximately $20.3 billion. So that's everything from CBD to THC products. Wouldn't you like to have your student loans disappear in 3 years or less? Send an email to swervecannabis@gmail.com and put student loans in the subject line. Again, that's swervecannabis@gmail.com. That's SWERVE cannabis@gmail.com, and make sure you put student loans in the subject line. All right, and again, folks, welcome back. Nelson Stryker. Shout out to Edison Jacquez. I see you. Chastity, thank you so much for checking us out tonight. And we are back. Eric Cruz is in the building, co-founder and CEO at Muvez Footwear. And we left off talking about your trip to China.
Yeah.
So let's jump right into that, man.
First time or the second time?
Let's do the first time.
First time, yeah.
Because I know it was probably crazy. You probably didn't know where the fuck you was going.
Yeah, no idea. No idea. No idea. Man, where do I begin? So let's, I guess, get into the very early stages of, I guess, the journey.
Yeah.
More or less. So in order to keep it very top view, an overview of the journey.
The trip.
Yeah. So in order to begin manufacturing, you're gonna need what's called a tech pack, right?
Okay.
It's almost a blueprint for building a building, right? So you need schematics, you need technical impressions, you need measurements, just so that the manufacturer can interpret, because the number system is universal, right?
Okay.
So you don't have to worry about conversions or translations when you're talking about numbers.
Yeah.
Because it's universal. So I had to create a tech pack. So I used, as an entrepreneur, you have to be very resourceful.
Oh yeah.
Right?
You gotta stretch that money, boy.
Yeah, you know, and not only, you know, is it financial capital, but it's also the tools that are provided to you.
Got it.
So I leverage the internet. So I hosted my project on 2 separate platforms, Upwork.
Okay.
And Upwork and Fiverr. Fiverr, you know, from what I learned from my experience, is more very short term.
Oh yeah.
Freelance artist.
Sure.
Upwork is more heavy based, right? So I uploaded a project. I discovered a technical drawer who was willing to help me out based on his experience and qualifications. He was a good fit for the project. And then he introduced me to Luke Correga. Luke Correga was a broker, he was a Renaissance man. He was a chemist by trade.
Oh, wow.
And in turn became a shoe dog. A shoe dog is a term referenced in the footwear industry for over 25 years within the shoe industry.
Wow.
Known as a shoe dog.
Okay.
So he, I was introduced by our technical drawer named Joel to Lou Correga. Lou very conveniently lived in the Poconos, so he was only an hour from me.
Oh, yeah.
So once we were connected, I drove up, and me and my team, we got to meet him in person. He, welcomed us with open arms, and it was almost like an uncle that, I never had.
You never knew.
That I never knew, but now is, part of the family. And coincidentally, he was traveling to China on another business venture in relation to footwear. And we wanted to speak to the manufacturer before we, gave him a lot of money to start making, start manufacturing.
Hell yeah.
So, we flew to China, and that was like 36 hours, I think.
Wow.
Door to door. It was over 12 hours one way. It was like a nightmare, the flight, in terms of like waking up and then hoping that you're practically there.
Right.
And just realizing you're there like 8 hours.
Wow.
And it's crammed, it's tight. And the food is subpar, as we all know. Travel flight. It just, it was eye opening because as an American, what we're afforded. The very luxuries that we take for granted. The little things. And in a lot of respect, it humbled me in a way.
Oh yeah.
Naturally, just through my parenting, I've always been a kind of humble person, but. Right. In terms of business,
this was a whole nother level.
This was a whole other level. Yeah. It's just the subtle liberties that we take for granted. We should reconsider.
Oh yeah.
When you're traveling, and that's kind of what traveling does to you. For the audience who's joining us, who have experienced travel internationally, even abroad. Right. It's quite a culture shock. Yeah. China was welcoming to us in a lot of respects. The food was. Different. It was different.
It was just different.
I'm Spanish, so
1 out of 10, man. What do you think?
Oh,
a 4.5?
It's just barely. That's me being generous. It's just not my preference. I'm Spanish. We like a lot of seasoning.
Just wasn't
my thing. And even like in terms of like my presence and like my stature, I'm almost 6. Let's say like 5'11". Yeah. We were getting a lot of stares because we are noticeably different than the Asian demographic. They're 5'5", 5'6". And I'm here like 6'2". 200. When they're 5'5", 120. They're like, "Are you an athlete? Are you a celebrity?"
Wow.
They're like, "No, in America we're pretty much average." So you'd be shocked if you were to visit the United States, and especially on the East Coast, where we're all kind of pretty big.
Right.
It was wild. It was a humbling experience. If it wasn't for Lou that accepted us, with great,
just a good soul, man.
Honestly, I wish I had more time with him. For those that don't know, he passed at 52 from a heart attack, and it was so unexpected that caught all of us off guard.
Right.
And I could say with confidence that if it wasn't for him, I don't think we'd be here. Yeah. And it's a shame that he's not here to share the benefits of the sacrifice and and the journey that now we're beginning to see the fruits of our labor starting to flourish, and I can still share it with his family.
True.
I just it hurts knowing that someone that was such an integral part of the company and the brand isn't with you, but his sacrifice and his hospitality will live on through the brand.
Oh yeah.
So we'll continue because of him and knowing the importance that he brought to the table. So if anything, it re-energized us. Yeah. To make sure that all this was for naught.
Right. And all the work that he was able to pour into you guys, it's in the right hands.
Yeah, it's gonna live through it.
Yeah.
And the journey is about who you come across with, because you're gonna be introduced with people that are just motivated by self-interest.
Right.
And that's okay because this is capitalism and this is America.
Yeah.
So you can't really fault them.
Yeah, true.
For looking out for themselves.
Right.
But you won't know that unless you go through it.
True.
So you experience it. It's okay to make mistakes because we're all human.
Of course.
If everybody had a blueprint to become a millionaire, we'd all be millionaires.
Exactly.
Wouldn't we? So,
yeah.
it's not intrinsic.
Right.
But if you channel those attributes that are,
right.
So it's, being humble, being generous.
Yeah.
Being resourceful, being knowledgeable, seeking knowledge. All
resourceful. That's so
Bro,
key. I don't think people really understand.
They don't.
How much being resourceful contributes to a successful lifestyle, building a family, building, just anything.
It's a building block.
It's
a building block. And there's no excuses not to be resourceful nowadays.
Right.
You have the internet. So you have all the answers. You just have to find them and be willing to put it in the time to identify the websites and the channels and the people that you have to go through to get to the right. Everybody has the answer.
Yeah.
It's just who do you approach with the right question?
With the question.
Right. And, don't be
afraid to ask the question.
Don't be afraid to ask because somebody has the answer.
Yeah.
So, continue to learn, seek knowledge, ask the right questions to the right people, and good things will happen.
Yeah.
Not all the time.
Yeah.
But that's okay.
Right.
You can make mistakes. We're all human.
That's true. And some people are so afraid, man.
They shouldn't be.
But it's how they grow up too, because look, think about it. When we fail when we're younger, what happens?
Well, you get scolded by your parents.
You get scolded by your parents, right? Yeah. Or your teachers jump on you because you didn't do this, you didn't do that. So it's almost like we're conditioned to fear failure, right? So we don't ask the questions that could ultimately make us rich. You know what I mean? Like that could get us to being successful and being those, those magnates, that start schools and build multi-billion-dollar businesses, right? But now that, like you said, the information is out there. You just got to be willing to ask the questions and willing to go out there and get the information.
It's out there. It's available to everybody, and majority of the information's free.
Oh, yeah.
There's YouTube, there's Google, there's LinkedIn, the list is endless.
On and on and on.
Just, concentrating the approach, figuring out what outlets, what platforms you need to search in order to get the right answer.
Yeah.
And sooner or later, it will unveil itself.
Exactly.
It's just putting in the time.
Got it. All right, folks. Nelson Stryker on the rise. I'm here with Eric Cruz, the co-founder at Muvez Footwear, and we are going in tonight. Shout out to Ronnie, still tuning in with us. He's still going on. He's talking about Upwork. He said, and Fly Overseas is how he made it happen as well.
Sure.
Okay. Yeah.
Sure.
Shout out to Roberto. He's giving you the hundreds. The hundreds emoji.
Thank you, Roberto.
Shout out to Adayar. Shout out to the Big A Show, hosted on Podcast House. He's coming through again on Tuesday, so shout out to him. All right, folks, let me run through this ad real quick. Tired of your student loan debt? Well, you're not alone. Forbes tallied up the student loan debt in America, and it hit $1.2 trillion. But there's good news. Hundreds of college graduates are using the legal cannabis industry to get themselves out of debt without student loan forgiveness. Legal marijuana sales already hit $9 billion, and by 2023, the projections are saying $20.3 billion. That's everything from CBD to THC products. And if you don't know what CBD and THC is what gets you high. CBD has all those health benefits in it. Okay, so wouldn't you like to have your student loan debt disappear in 3 years or less? Send an email right now to swervecannabis@gmail.com and put student loans in the subject line. Again, that's swervecannabis@gmail.com and make sure you put student loans in the subject line. All right, so let's jump right back into it, E. We are in our last round of the show. So let's really dive into your story, man. Look, because a lot of what you're talking about right now, a lot of it can be, a proponent of the self-improvement industry and self-help and personal development. Because a lot of the stuff, you know, I mean, just overcoming the obstacles and things that you had to pursue, even having the courage to fly out to China and spend whatever you had to spend on that long ass flight.
Yeah, I don't even want to talk about it.
Exactly, bro. You know,
Yeah.
so even for you to be able to put yourself in that space, man.
Yeah.
What was the biggest thing you went through coming up, right? Or maybe the biggest obstacle that you had to overcome coming up as an entrepreneur?
Sure.
That you feel is the reason why you were able to get this far.
Ooh, that's a great question. I think I have a very simple answer to that.
Yeah.
So, all right. So, first phase is entrepreneurship. I believe chooses you.
Okay.
You don't choose to be an entrepreneurship. For my experience, destiny pretty much controlled the outcome.
Okay.
I was a corporate America kind of guy, working 9 to 5 and happy and young and remotely successful, I guess.
Okay.
But there was just something always hinting to me that there's more out there.
Okay.
Right. So, my corporate job relocated to Atlanta, and I was 25. Wasn't willing to do that. I was, I wasn't satisfied.
Okay.
So my brother and I, we always had this kind of dream and, about pursuing our own passions and creating something that we can call our own. And the stars aligned, where he was unsatisfied, I was unfulfilled, and our boy Kevin felt the same. So we're like, listen, if we gave this our best shot, I think we can make something special. And we're at the age where we don't have any kids. Not saying if you have a kid, it's too late. It's never too late. But we figured that this is the best time and opportunity to take this chance, this gamble, this massive gamble. Now in hindsight, it's beginning to pay off. But 3 years ago, it was there was very slim chance of us succeeding.
Wow.
Because we the cards were stacked against us. But to your point. My family is amazing.
Supportive.
Right? They're beyond supportive. And that's just not my immediate family. That's like my extended family. So it's my aunts, my uncles, my cousins. They were always so encouraging that when I was growing up, I just felt like we were almost, all of us were invincible.
Wow.
And we have such a great support cast that there wasn't really a minute where I didn't think I could do it. Because once you make the kind of decision to become an entrepreneur or build a business, you can no longer question your ability because it's too late.
You can't go back.
You've jumped off the plank already.
Yeah.
So what's the point of trying to figure out or redetermine if you are suitable for this endeavor that you're already on?
Right.
It's too late.
Yeah.
So I'm on this journey, and it was challenging, but having a support team, support system around you to not let you fall into the pitfalls, because entrepreneurship is very lonely.
Right. Oh yeah.
You can't really voice the challenges because common folk, or people that can't really associate because we have different problems. Yeah. You're working against goals, and I'm working against competition in manufacturing, and just a different dialogue. So. And it's daunting, it's challenging for sure. But having a support team and system in place,
key.
Whether it's your wife or your kids, like we have what we define as what moves you, right? So it's a documentary series where we shoot and we have a dialogue like we're having with an entrepreneur, a creative artist, an athlete, and we find out like what motivates them, what moves them. And eventually
I love that
topic comes up.
That's so key.
Because everyone can identify with it. Yeah. We've all been there at some point of circumstance. Right. You have to rise from the ashes like a phoenix, or you just cave in and, life continues on. Because that's what happens. We all mourn when someone passes away. And then the world just continues evolving and moving with or without you. Right? So you just have to be strong enough to overcome and remind yourself what you're doing it for.
Yeah. Your why, like what your why is.
What your why is. What moves you? What motivates you to get up and grind? Is it financial independence? Is it helping your parents retire early? Is it helping with your family with medical bills? You know, just define your why, stick with it.
Yeah.
And eventually, like, good things will happen.
Yeah. And stay in the course.
Stay in the course, no matter what.
You know?
No matter what.
What moves you? Yo, when can we look out for that? Is that out already?
Yeah, it's out already.
Okay.
So if you log on our website, it's www.moves.co. You scroll down to the bottom. We've released 3. We have a NBA international basketball player. We have 2.
Where are you dropping it on? Where are they dropped?
Well, we do IGTV.
Okay.
And then if you go to our homepage, there's a direct link to the entire segment. So we'll be dropping one, Mr. Nueva York. He's Dominican comedian who's just hilarious. He fits a persona where, his mother is a character that he plays, he created, and it's the character is trying to adjust to American life, even though he's like straight from the Dominican Republic, so doesn't really understand like the culture here.
Yeah.
And he does such a great accent and great sense of humor that and he's growing. I mean,
nice.
he's been super successful, and it's someone that stuck with it. Stand-up comedy is not easy.
Oh no, hell no.
You have to constantly evolve.
But they got that skill though.
They do. But it's defining and refining. It's all about the journey and just continuing evolving and being someone new and not being afraid to challenge a norm, I guess, in a lot of ways.
For real. All right, man. So listen, shout out to Kevin and Ryan, right?
Yeah, 100%.
All right, shout out to Kevin and Ryan. Shout out to Muvez Footwear, and
my bad, McMichael too. McMichael's my guy.
Shout out to Michael, man.
Yeah, McMichael. I got 4 guys.
Oh, McMichael.
McMichael, that's my dude.
Yeah, shout out to McMichael, man.
Yeah, 100%.
All right, Muvez Footwear, and that's Muvez.
Yes, sir.
Okay, moves.co.
.co, yep.
All right, check them out. And any podcast coming soon?
Maybe another one with you.
Not yet. Yeah, gotta bring everybody on.
100%.
All
right. You let me know.
All right, man. Again, folks, this podcast is brought to you by DatChat, the future of email and messaging. DatChat puts you in control of your text messages and allows you to pull back any message you've sent using secure blockchain technology. DatChat IPOs in early 2020 to the NASDAQ. Visit datchat.com/levelups. and get a once-in-a-lifetime exclusive pass to purchase shares now. And again, that's datchat.com/levelups. And let's thank our guest for tonight, Eric Cruz, CEO and co-founder at Muvez Footwear. Hey, man, thanks again for coming on, man.
Pleasure's all mine, man.
Got to get you back, man.
This is awesome.
You and the guys.
Yes.
3
definitely.
or 2? 3? All three?
All three.
All three. All right, folks. All right, folks. To my Level Up family, thank you for watching. And to those of you on the podcast, thanks for listening to On the Rise. Subscribe, leave us a rating or a review so you don't miss any level ups from the show. We'll see you guys next time.